Hey, good morning. It's 10:09 on Monday, April 24th. I'm Dave Goldman. You're not. Boogie with a little morning caffeine. Grab your favorite morning caffeine vessel. Fill it full of your favorite morning caffeine. Take a swig as you think about Scott Adams from Red State Talk Radio. He's the guy who created that. Did it every morning. Still does do it every morning on his Scott Adams broadcasts. He does 4 hours. I don't do more than two. Maybe one day we'll have a big panel of people and people watching in the live chats, and we'll be able to do 4 hours. But right now, I don't think we can do 4 hours. We're live on the Dave Goldman profile. We're live on the Boogie with the Bull page. We are live on the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk group. We're live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And yeah, if you're watching on Twitter and you follow at BoogieWT Bull, we're live there. There's no live chat on Twitter. There's live chat every place else. My profile, the Boogie page, the Boogie group, and Boogie YouTube. Uh, you will be able to buy stars very quickly on the Boogie page if you feel you need to buy stars to help broadcasters monetize their broadcasts. But I don't plan on selling stars to monetize the broadcast, so I make money to be able to provide you content. I think I want to continue providing you as much content as I can for free, and you decide whether or not you want to use or watch that content and anything you can do with it. Chip Parsons is watching in the Boogie with a Bull live chat somewhere. Melissa Morgan Darius is watching. You know Melissa. I mean Militia. She's the lady that you can blame for me blasting that red, white, and blue, that beautiful red, white, and blue Hung for Freedom decal. I'm going to see if I can do something. Sometimes Facebook and sometimes Facebook and StreamYard actually work together, and sometimes they don't. So let's just see if we can do this. If it does, ooh, it looks like it actually might. Let's do this, and let's do this. It's an invalid file type. It is not an invalid file type. It's that beautiful red, white, and blue Hung for Freedom decal, and I will make sure we yell at the Boogie with the Bull graphics team and make sure it is properly installed so that we can flash it every time we're on. You can go to the Florida Honk for Freedom group and you'll see it there. You can go to Militia's main Honk for Freedom group and see it there. You can go to my profile, and if you scroll back far enough, I'm sure you will find every post had it, and some still do. If you want the red, white, and blue Hunt for Freedom decal because you need it on your car, the back bumper, all the windows, even if your kids have one of those rechargeable electric cars that matches the rechargeable electric kids car that you have, you should have a Hunt for Freedom decal on that. For people like me, yeah, one of these days you're going to see it on a Hunt for Freedom article of clothing that you can wear. Because when I'm walking and I'm tying people up in the Walmart aisles, I want them to yell honk or something like that, and I'll laugh really hard, and then I'll turn around and ask them, "What the hell are you honking at?" When they point to the decal, I'll go, "See, it works, and it makes you laugh while you're doing it, and you need to laugh every day." Like I have often said, I am the kind of guy who will sit in the left turn lane when light turns green, and I'll count to 10 just to make people honk when they see that beautiful red, white, and blue Honk for Freedom decal. And then a lot of times they will follow you because that thing is so beautiful. And as soon as you get out of your car, they will beg you to give you one for their car. Talk to Militia Morgan Darius here on Facebook, and she will give you all the information on how you can get one. Uh, Last I heard, I think you get five, and She mails them to you and may or may not ask you for a $5 donation. And she may or may not ask you for the $5 donation when you ask her to ship them to you. If you can, ship her through various means of electronic transfer. Ship her the $5 before, and she will send them to you. But she's such a great person that even if you don't, she'll send them to you anyway. But the reality is, it costs money to make those things, and it costs money to send them to you. So do your part and help make sure everybody in America gets a Honk for Freedom decal and puts it on their car, front of their mailbox. I don't know, everywhere they want to hang it to get people to honk. And be creative when you do it. But $5 really isn't that much. In the course of a month or a day, you spend $5 on your favorite caffeinated beverage anyway. So one day go without your favorite caffeinated beverage and help a global phenomenon get even bigger. Matter of fact, I heard that the guys and gals up at the International Space Station and the Blue Origin rockets that fly around it and the SpaceX rockets that actually land there have requested Honk for Freedom decals. And that Elon Musk supposedly asks when he lands his rockets at the International Space Station, he only wants to use the Honk for Freedom Honk for Freedom dock. So help everybody, help each other. Freedom is free. It doesn't cost anything. It shouldn't cost anything, but there are costs related to promoting it. And the Honk for Freedom decal is one way we do it. Okay, talked enough. Honk for Freedom. All kinds of Honk for Freedom groups on Facebook. There are international ones. So if you are international, join the one that is appropriate for you. If there is not one, form one. There are Honk for Freedom groups, as I said, throughout the United States. And if there is not one in your group, talk to militia or someone, and they will help you form one in your group. There is one here in Florida. And so people in Florida that want the Honk for Freedom decal have ample opportunity to get one. And moving on, Monday is always the Let's Get This Week Started following Friday, which is Let's Get This Week Started following Friday, which is always Let's Get This Weekend Started. So anyone who wants to share what they did over the weekend is more than welcome to. I had the same, we were live for just under 2 hours on Saturday, and it was a rather eventful broadcast. First time in my history of doing broadcast that I seemed like I was kind of rude, actually was rude and argumentative with Donald Wisman, who I have known on Facebook for years. I have watched Donald's Sunday night broadcast, taken part in Donald's Sunday night broadcast. Invited Donald to be a part of Boogie with the Bull broadcast, either in the live chat or on camera, and I was a little heated. I won't say I was a lot heated, because if I was a lot heated, it would have been a lot different. But I was a little heated, and I was probably much ruder than I should have been. And I always do say, you have a right to come into a Boogie with the Bull broadcast and share your view. But nobody has a right to come into a Boogie with the Bull broadcast and make me feel like it's their view or no view. And Donald didn't do that. Okay? He didn't do that. I just had a different view on some of the wording or the name of a facility where people who have mental health issues would live. Because I think there's a stigma associated with things when you call things a mental institution. Just like I think there's a stigma when you call things a correctional institution. because 9 out of 10 times a correctional institution only corrects what you're there for until you leave, because odds are when you leave, you end up doing something wrong and you go back, and maybe you don't come out. Same thing with mental institutions. Were not really a place that I don't think, were a place where you were sentenced to. They were a place where you went to because the level of care that you needed was not the level of care you could get at home. And over time, they became a place that just housed people with mental health issues because there wasn't any place else to hold them. And then, in most cases, if you hit 18, they kicked you to the curb because you didn't need to be there anymore. And society didn't help you with the issues that you have. And then you became a sponge on society, I guess is the word that I'll put it, where you had to get as much help from society as you could. But basically, maybe the term that I said, assisted living facility or whatever, maybe it just hides what's there too. Because like a correctional facility, you want to think that they are doing something to correct the behavior of people who got there so that when they leave, they're ready to go back and become a productive member of society. And like I said, it doesn't always happen. Some people do something maybe just to go back. Some people do something that was worse than what they went there for, and they don't come out. So maybe the whole thing just needs to be reevaluated. And in some cases, I don't care what anybody thinks, and I'm not getting rude or condescending or argumentative with anybody. Big Pharma decided to work with the medical community on what they call people with mental health issues and make us feel less of a member of society while they pump all kinds of pills and liquids into us to get us as close as they can to function the way the rest of people do. Maybe it's my ego, maybe it's reality, I don't know. But you know what? Lately, what I have been thinking and what I have been seeing is some people who have what you call mental health issues don't really have mental health issues. They're just more tuned in to what is going around and what is happening. And some classes of society, Big Pharma and the medical community, kind of said, well, we can't have that. We can't have people who may be smarter or think that they're smarter than everybody else, because we can't have that. Then the people who follow us for everything they follow us for and depend on us for won't follow us. Well, that's your problem. Okay? I've never heard a voice in my head that has told me go hurt myself or go hurt anybody else. But I hear voices. I've never heard the voice of anyone in my head that was in my life that passed on ever tell me to hurt myself or anybody else. I've gotten advice from voices in my head that didn't work out the way I thought it would, but that's my fault for listening to that voice or doing whatever I thought that voice said to me. And it's no different than having a conversation with someone and them telling you to go do a bad thing, and you go do it. But the gist of that conversation is, I don't think I'm any smarter than anybody else or any dumber than anybody else. I think that I hear things and do things on a different realm than other people do, because that's the realm that I'm on. And then I have to make myself adapt to everybody else and how they want me to do things. And it gets to a point where enough is enough. I got groups on Facebook, and I got pages on Facebook, and I got a broadcast that runs on Facebook whenever it runs. And my belief is, you either watch it or you don't. You watch it live or you watch the podcast or non-live broadcast or non-live show. And that's another thing. Everybody calls it something else. Some people call it a show. I call it a broadcast. Some people call it a podcast. Not worth time feeling that anybody, myself included, has to get into a conversation with anybody over what it is. And studios, I'm never going to have the studio that I want. A, because I'll never have a place to build it. And B, I won't be able to afford to equip it the way I want to equip it. But I'm still happy every day that I get up, I kick on my mouse, I kick on my Chromebook, I pick which monitor I'm going to use to watch the Facebook live chat. Now, even though we straightened out the live chat with StreamYard and everything comes up on the screen like it's supposed to. But you know what? It's the equipment that does the job and is still capable of doing the job. And that fits in with what God said to me when he loaded me up into whatever vehicle I was going to ride through the birth canal and pop out of my mother and come into this world. He said to me, David, my son, there's a tool bag with you, and when you need it, the tools will be available. And don't try to go through the tool bag and figure out what each thing does, or decide that you need something better than what you have. When you need something better than what you have, it'll be made available. So the equipment that does a Boogie with the Bull broadcast is capable right now of doing any Boogie with the Bull broadcast, either inside of a building on Wi-Fi or outside of a building on Wi-Fi. And when I need better, hopefully better will come. And I may ask people to help with getting better all the time. And maybe they will, maybe they won't. But when it comes to the purchase of stars, like I said, on the Boogie with the Bull page, I think you need 200 stars to think that your comment comes onto the broadcast screen and I can read it. It's not important to me that you have to buy a star or stars, 200 stars, to make you think I see your comment. I'll make sure you see your comment on every broadcast. You can go to my profile and watch me live. You can go to the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot group and watch me live. You can go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and watch me live. And if you subscribe and I get 1,000 subscribers and they've watched 4,000 hours, you don't have to ever worry about buying a star, because YouTube is going to throw me some pennies for producing the broadcast, and I'll always see your comment. Twitter, we have to figure out what package we're going to do on Twitter to be a content creator and make sure that we can see your comments. We're working on it. Street Lock. The experiment will be when we embed the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel on a Street Lock post and we go live on Street Lock. If you're watching it on YouTube, meaning that you're watching a link to the YouTube channel and you can use the Boogie with the Bull YouTube live chat, which I think you can, then you got a live chat. And if you can't, no, somewhere down the road, we'll have to figure out how to get you into a live chat. Same thing with American Patriot Social or MeWe or any place else. We send the broadcast, or even if we send the broadcast from Rumble somewhere, it's not, or wasn't ever meant to be a broadcast where I fire everything up, aim a camera at me, check mic levels, and say, you got to listen to me, as opposed to listening to anybody else. You can listen to me. I want to hear what you have to say, and sometimes I may get aggravated, and I may get a little heated. I might even get a little rude, but you know what? I don't have an excuse for doing it, but my excuse is that I'm going through dementia, and there may come a day where my getting angry and my getting rude may tell me it's time to stop doing the broadcast. But for now, I'm not yelling and screaming right now, but I'm telling you how I think about something, and I hope that people hear that. I'm slamming it into a bunch of groups this morning because I'm hoping that maybe people will watch in those groups and they might like it and they might want to come and watch it in another group. If I put it into a group and you don't want it in your group, as the admin or a moderator, you let me know and I won't send it to your group anymore. And if I'm not sending it to your group and you want it in your group, then send me a message and make sure that I am either already a member of your group and I post it there, or that I become a member of your group and I post it there. That's just how it is. Some groups I send it to because I'm not sure if I should send it to that group, and I wait. And if I hear please don't send it to our group anymore, then I don't. If I don't hear that, then I just keep sending it until I might. If I had my way, StreamYard is capable of linking to all the groups that either you're an admin of or become an admin of, and you go live and you don't have to worry about making sure that every group that wanted it or you wanted it to be in got it, and that you might not have sent, or that you might have sent it to a group that doesn't want you to send it. I just send it to say no to the digital dollar. Say no to the digital dollar. You should be saying no to the digital dollar only because there's one part of the digital dollar that you may or may not understand. It will allow them to put money into your account if you do something they like. It will allow them to take money out of your account if you do something they don't like. And that could get to the point where they overdraft your account because they take so much money out of your account anytime you open your mouth that you now owe them because your account went negative. I'm sorry. I disagree with CBDC through any organization that thinks they have a right to do that. Any federal government banking association that thinks they have the right to do that. any federal government organization that thinks they have permission to do that. And I guess what will happen when this happens, my Social Security check may not end up in my bank account anymore. My bank may be able to decide that they didn't like what I said, or I was at the ATM and I was talking to somebody and it recorded me saying something, and someone at the bank listened to it and they didn't like it, so they shut me off. I don't think it will ever happen, but it might. We're so far off the mark with this. It doesn't matter what the money is in your account. It's your money. It got there because you earned the right to have that money put into your account for whatever reason it was. It is not the government's right to decide that, oh, they don't like what he said, they don't like what he did, they don't like who he's married to, they're angry because his grandson did something. I'm sorry. It's my money and I want it now, like J.G. Wentworth used to say. And you don't have a right to keep it from me or take it from me because you don't like what I do. And this kind of goes to Facebook. I've said for 15 years, and I hope I'm still saying it 15 years from now, Facebook, we've learned in 15 years, you can throw every conceivable algorithm that you can at me so far. And most of them, I've figured out how to get around it. Okay? The 1 week where there was a problem with me connecting to Facebook from StreamYard wasn't your fault or something you did or StreamYard's fault. We can't figure out whose fault it was. It was probably a bad Chromebook that got corrupted and just wouldn't work with StreamYard and Facebook, and we went to YouTube. But you throw these, you can't do something for an hour at me, I go somewhere else and do it for an hour. I go over to American Patriot Social and I read their news feed and I look for things to put over on StreetLock. And then when the hour's up, I got stuff from American Patriot Social, I got stuff from StreetLock, I come back and I post it on Facebook. Or now, if you boot me off for an hour, I got a bunch of stuff on, or boot me from sharing or posting or whatever. I got a bunch of stuff in a bunch of different Facebook groups that I can share to a couple of MeWe groups and try to get them going. It's just not worth it anymore. I mean, this is the truth to me about Facebook. It's just not worth it anymore. They built you up in the first few years that you were here. Like I came on in 2009, and the crap started coming downhill in 2016. And the crap is still coming downhill now. And the big joke is people flashing a meme of the notice that they got in their support inbox here on Facebook that says you might have a settlement coming from Facebook. And people tell me they got an email and they actually got something in the mail. Well, good luck. Because Facebook, Meta platforms lost something like $4.3 billion in investments that Mark Zuckerberg made into trying to launch the metaverse. So do you think he's got money to pay you a big settlement? And everybody else who's flashing that stupid, you might have a settlement coming. It's like I said yesterday. The first settlement I ever thought I had coming from Facebook, because they told me I had it coming, was $440,000. It was the Cambridge Analytica hacks, and they told us $40,000 per day until we tell you that your account is as secure as it can be. It was 11 days, $440,000. What did I get? 1 year of credit card and debit card monitoring, in which my debit card was compromised 3 times. And it probably cost Facebook $4.40. So, if anything, watch and go, ooh, ah, llama, llama, ding dong. I got a notice from Facebook that said I got $4.40 coming. Then watch for the follow-up one that says, not only did you owe us $4.40 for figuring out that we owed you $4.40, you owe us $399, whatever it is, hundreds of thousands of dollars in costs. Or the ones that I really like are the ones that everybody talks about, everything. Oh, you got a settlement from big corporation, big global corporation, 32 cents. It cost them more than 32 cents to print the check and mail it to you. But they have to do it because you got a settlement. And settlements most of the time don't even work the way you expect. I got dragged in because I was an Uber driver. I don't remember the years, but Uber drivers in California, along with Uber drivers in Massachusetts, filed some kind of a class action lawsuit. Both sides agreed that I had something like $5,400 coming. I was expecting a check maybe for $540. I got a check for like $375. And, that's the way it's always going to be. Facebook might still they owe me $440,000. And maybe one day they'll get around to paying it. But the reality is that if everybody got $440,000 in that lawsuit, it would have cost Facebook something like $540 billion. They would have had to shut down Facebook, sell it, liquidate it, and hope they got $540 billion to pay back all of us who thought we were going to get $540,000. And there comes a point to me where if they had given me that $440,000, I'd have that studio that I said I wanted. I might have gone on to internet radio. I might still be posting it on Facebook. I don't know. But I probably wouldn't be spending 18 hours a day sitting in front of Facebook trying to get important things that people should see everywhere they need to see them. I've been telling people lately, the Dylan Mulvaney nightmare, whatever you want to call it, the Bud Light boycott, both sides are running around going, we won. And I asked them, well, what did you win? Well, Bud Light lost $10 billion. So that's going to hurt AB InBev. Then the other side says to me, well, I guess if AB InBev wasn't going to put Bud Light in a woke can, they don't know if they won or lost. Well, the truth is, the only Bud Light cans you saw with a woke spokesperson or spokesbeing, because I don't know what the pronoun is, the only Bud Light can you saw with a transgendered or believed to be transgendered spokesperson on it were photoshopped. Because no time during the Bud Light boycott did any Bud Light woke, or could be interpreted as a Bud Light woke can, leave an Anheuser-Busch beer canning facility. No Anheuser-Busch distributors got them. No Anheuser-Busch retailers got them. So in theory, you're 100% right. There were no more Bud Light. There was no Bud Light woke can. Because during this, Bud Light had the original Bud Light can, or the current Bud Light can. They pumped out Bud Light Classic cans and cases. And then right about the time they were saying, we lost $10 billion. We're not going to keep paying Dylan Mulvaney $50,000 to represent Bud Light. We did something with the lady who was in charge of marketing for Bud Light. And we had a $10 billion loss. No. Bud Light has $10 billion they put in the bank or somewhere a long time ago. It earns them $330 million a year in interest. They don't touch the $10 billion. They take the $330 million and they apply it to long-term debt that they have. So they're financing their own long-term debt. So whatever debt they were financing for over the long term, that $10 billion was put in for, it's working. So a company that had, I'm not sure if it was $132 billion in profit in 2022 or just had $132 billion in sales in 2022, is going to take another $10 billion off the top. Because when you got 132 billion, 131 billion is the same. So they take $10 billion from the Bud Light loss, put it in the bank, generate another $330 million off of it, and use that $330 million in interest, like they're doing with the other $10 billion, to pay off the $10 billion loss from Bud Light. But what most people don't understand is a lot of Bud Light drinkers said, we're going to go drink Miller Lite. Because they either didn't know that they didn't know that Anheuser-Busch owns Miller Lite. By doing that, we've already had the hypocrisy conversation about if you're going to boycott a big holding corporation, you're going to boycott one brand. Well, you really need to boycott the whole thing, every brand, because you want to be sure that not only do they stop making the brand that you're boycotting, you want to be sure they stop making any brand and go out of business or change and do what you wanted them to do. Because what I believe they did is the last light beer new can and new case to leave Anheuser-Busch canning and casing facilities was Busch Light. And it still is. You walk in through the front door of the three Walmarts that triangulate our house to supercenters and a neighborhood store. And the beer display you see at the front door now is, believe it or not, Bud Light in whatever the last can they got it in, either the original can or the Budweiser Classic can, sitting right next to Busch Light. And in some places, they just took it off the shelf, probably sent it back and got a credit, and it doesn't matter. But as I've been saying the last few days, if you took a professional Bud Light drinker, especially a Bud Light drinker who went to Miller Lite, If you take a professional Bud Light drinker who bought up every can of Bud Light in either the original or classic can so they could drink it as long as they could until the only way they could get it would be Bud Light in a woke can, which never happened. So you take a Busch Light can and you cover it up so they can't see what it is, and you take a Bud Light can and you cover it up so they can't see what it is, and you pour some out of each can into a glass and ask them to taste both, I bet they're going to tell you it tastes exactly the same. Because in the grand scheme of things, it probably is. It's just Bud Light in a Busch Light can with a different set of marketing people and probably no connection with Dylan Mulvaney anymore. And you don't want to get me talking about Dylan, because if you look up what transgender surgery did Dylan have on Google or on Bing, all you see is Dylan Mulvaney's facial feminization surgery, which means that they took Dylan Mulvaney's facial head of a male and made it look like Dylan Mulvaney as a female head. It doesn't say whether or not he or she had anything else done. It just says facial surgery. You look at pictures of Dylan Mulvaney and they're same to the quote unquote, I don't know, photoshopped, could be or not, or real photos of Michelle Obama. And looking at the pictures, you can't tell if anything else was done. Then you have Caitlyn Jenner, who was the first hypocrite as far as transgendering goes that I've said. And for 3 years, I've been telling you, I think that she is a hypocrite, because Caitlyn says that back when she was Bruce knew around 8 years old, or says he knew around 8 years old, he was going to have to make changes and become a female. Bruce continued on to be one of the best athletes in the world, had his face on just about every brand of anything that supported him, walked away with more money than God when he was done, and then one day said, now I got the money, I'm done working, I can't be an athlete anymore, nobody wants me to be a commentator anymore, so now I'm going to take my life dream from 8 years old and I'm going to do it. The biggest part of that being a hypocrite is now Caitlyn came out and started saying, if this is really who you think you are, then you need to do it. And this is what you need to do. It was rumored at the time that Caitlyn spent something like $100,000, or I don't know, maybe it was a lot of money. But even if it was only $100,000, most people thinking about it don't have $100,000 to spend to do it. Then yes, there is the other side of reality that a lot of these people who did it are now coming back and saying, well, you know what? If I'd really thought about it, I wouldn't have done it. Well, does that make you a hypocrite for doing it? Or not having researched it enough to be sure that it was absolutely beyond the shadow of a doubt what you wanted to do? Because to me, you make decisions every day in your life that are absolute. It has to be done this way, and it has to be done this way right now. And then you do it that way, and you realize, no, that wasn't the right way to do it. But you go back and you look and you say, well, if I thought about it a little bit more or maybe tried something else back then and did it a slightly different way, maybe it would have worked out. I guess what I'm saying is you got to live your life for you. And if you decide anything, doesn't matter what it is in your life, it's the way you want to do it, and that's the way you're going to do it, then do it. You still may have to deal with Dave Goldman looking into a camera saying, Caitlin, I still think that you were a hypocrite, or are a hypocrite, but only in the way that you did it. Because if you decided at 8 years old that you were going to have it done or needed to have it done, but you might have to wait until you were a legal adult to make the decision for yourself and have it done, and that's when you did it, then I could understand it. But when you were sure that Bruce left you more money than you'd ever need in case you never were able to find a job again or earn income again, and then go ahead and do it, and then be part of probably the Kardashian reality shows for a while, making tons of money doing that, or maybe even doing your own reality show before it and after it. And I think Dylan's an even bigger hypocrite because I'm sure I'm just like everybody else watching her and going, well, you did it to your face, but did you do the whole thing? Because I don't personally consider transgendering if I change my face to look like a female's face and change my name to Davita. I'm still an actress. I'm just an actor or actress playing a role wearing a different face. But like I said, if you decide that you want to do this, go off and do it. If you want to spend the rest of your life being a digital creator, showing everybody what you did and living that lifestyle, great. I'm going to be a digital creator that says the way I think you did it is hypocritical, or the fact that you did it at all is hypocritical. Because if anything, Dylan, you did it because companies were paying you $50,000 and you had to look like a girl. So that was the easiest way you could make yourself look like a girl. But what bothers me even more, Dylan, and I wish you were here or you'd see this, what bothers me even more is now you're not out representing Bud Light woke because there isn't going to be Bud Light woke. What you are out there representing as, I don't know how old, I think 28, upper 20s, early 30s, you're out representing a transgendered female who said, I didn't get a chance to experience that part of my life as a female, so I'm living it now. Well, that tells me, okay, you're creating content for 15-year-old girls, and the 15-year-old girls couldn't drink Bud Light anyway. Well, at least legally. I'm not talking about what you may be able to, whatever. You take your penny jar and you go down to the packy store and they sell you a can of Bud Light woke, or any alcoholic beverage. But I'm talking about you didn't get to experience being a 15-year-old girl. So now you're doing broadcasts aimed at 15-year-old girls. And that's only because the $50,000 that you got to do 1 or 2 or 3 Bud Light woke broadcast didn't pan out. If they had, my question is, and Bud Light Woke cans actually came out, would you still, you would probably be so busy doing Bud Light Woke brand influencing that you wouldn't be able to be going back in time and trying to talk to 15-year-old girls. And the problem that I don't understand is, why would you be broadcasting toward 15-year-old girls when you're a 30-year-old girl, unless maybe you're trying to help 15-year-old girls understand the world and be a 15-year-old girl in the world. And a 15-year-old girl doesn't drink Bud Light. And if I had 15-year-old children that you were doing broadcast to in your target market, I don't care how old you are, and your sponsor is Bud Light Woke, my girl can't drink Bud Light Woke, or at least legally. I'm not going to buy it for her. So all I can say is with Dylan is, hey, you win some, you lose some, and then you go on and do the next, whatever you're getting paid $50,000 to do. Or you come on, whenever I come on, and you do what you feel you need to do, and you speak, and sometimes you have live chats, and sometimes you have guests, and you try to have a conversation. And at the end of the broadcast, we all say goodbye to each other, and then I do a little sermon where I mention, watch this broadcast, watch that broadcast, think about this this Facebook business that you'll see. And when I do that, I want everybody to know, when I tell you, hey, good morning, Jerry Michaels, the host of the American Rebellion, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the American Rebellion blogger page here on Facebook, and on the American Rebellion Rumble channel. It wasn't you, Jerry, it was me. I had a brain fart there. But, when I tell you to watch that broadcast, it's because I want you to watch that broadcast. Because I watched that broadcast, and I'll even tell you, I watched that broadcast, and with my demented mind, I will say something, or I'll put a comment in there, and I'll get ripped up. Most of the time, I just go sit in the corner or go back to my table in the live chat and sulk and think about it. And then the next day, I come back and watch it again. Why? Because Jerry's a funny guy, a great guy. Matter of fact, I wish Jerry would do more music videos, and I could run them around the clock on the Boogie with the Bull page, because that's where my music stuff goes, because they make you laugh. That bald-headed guy that you see, it looks like the brain is going to blow out of his head sometimes, looked like he was having a blast. But, I digress from my point. I tell you to watch people because I think you need to watch people. Whether or not you watch them has nothing to do with how I get treated when I'm on their broadcasts, or how they get treated when they're on my broadcast. It's the information you need is information you need, and I think you should be watching those people. So I don't care what you heard on Facebook lately, or what I might have told you on Facebook lately. You still need to watch Michael Anthony and the broadcast that he does. Why? Because he puts a hell of a lot of time into research, has guests that know their crap. And if you want to get some knowledge on the broadcasts that Michael does, the guests that he has on, the topics that he discusses, you need to go to the Michael Anthony Facebook page and become his friend. Red, white, and blue 10 o'clock talks logo, so that you get the notifications, and or you can see what's on his page, and you can share it, you can watch it, you can do whatever. I can't because I'm blocked, but we won't discuss that. Some people, me included, seem to be as hell-bent as destructing themselves as we are on doing what we claim we're out here to do, sharing information with anybody who needs the information we're trying to share. So, whoops, I'm not going to be able to do that. Left a note on my phone to do something at 11, and I'm not going to be able to do it, but that's okay. I can do it later. So, it's really just time to end it. Watch a broadcast on Facebook because you are interested in what's going to be on the broadcast, or you like the people that are going to be on the broadcast. Watch another one because of the same reason. Don't get tied up in all the drama, please. Because the drama is just another diversion. And there's enough diversions on Facebook that really none of us should be on Facebook. Because when I go to other social media networks, all of the diversions on Facebook aren't there unless somebody posted them on those other social media networks. And then they're discussed as a diversion, but not a tactic of Facebook to post disinformation that they hope that becomes misinformation so they can spank you and keep you from Facebook. Does anybody understand what I just said? Facebook took part under orders from the Department of Homeland Security to take what they knew was not accurate, factual information and post it and then spank people on Facebook for standing up and saying that information is not correct. They all got spanked with misinformation. Misinformation that was created so that you could get spanked, so that you wouldn't be on Facebook doing exactly what they wanted you to do. They wanted you to come onto Facebook and say that Facebook is lying. This is the actual and factual. Even though you were getting spanked by Facebook for saying it most certainly was not. And it was only not correct because the Department of Homeland Security, under orders of President Beijing Biden, told them to do this. Joe Biden, because he's president of the United States, or some people believe he's the president of the United States. He lives in the White House, and he's the only president using the Oval Office. Was okay, signed off on the Department of Homeland Security taking lies and sending them to Facebook that Facebook knew was lies. Got it posted on Facebook so they could tell you that your response was lies. And do it enough where they could spank you, kick you off of Facebook, shut your groups down. Facebook, if you go to any one of my groups on Facebook, I don't care which it is, the public groups that someone else brought me in as an admin to run, or my own public groups, which I have admins that help me with, the private groups I have admins that help me with, the other people who have groups and invite me in to be an admin. You go into any one of those groups on Facebook, and you'll see somewhere in the lobby page or somewhere there that the group newsfeed distribution, that means what goes in the group and goes into the Facebook newsfeed. And a private group does go into the Facebook newsfeed, but the only people that see it in the Facebook newsfeed are members of the group. But so everything goes into the Facebook newsfeed, and it's created just for you. And then you do something and you get a warning that says slower distribution, or your group has slower distribution. Your group has slower distribution because of Facebook disinformation which was misinformation. You stood up for yourself. Facebook's false news Gestapo, most of them admit they're not there to decide whether or not something is right or wrong. They're there because Facebook said, gather up a bunch of articles that back our view and then post them as a notice on what we decided was misinformation, so that it continues to prove to people on Facebook you're lying. And if you lie enough, we're going to take you off of Facebook. I can't wait until the day that Ted Cruz, only because I think Ted Cruz is probably one of the only people in the Senate that has the balls to look at Mark Zuckerberg and say, don't even open up your mouth. I'm going to answer you a question. Don't even open up your mouth, because whatever comes out of your mouth is a lie. And you know it's a lie. And even if you're telling the truth, it's a lie. Nothing is going to change on Facebook. Even if everybody stopped using Facebook for a day or a year or 10 years or 100 years, it doesn't matter. The advertisers may leave, but you know what? When you're severely funded by the government, seriously funded by the government, it doesn't matter. You're just going to keep doing what you do, because there's not enough people on Facebook that believe that 75% of Facebook, or 75% of what Facebook tells you is lie, is true. Maybe 25% of it is actually incorrect, but it's those stupid wording errors like missing context or wrong context or whatever. Everything that Facebook spanks you for missing context is everything that I wrote back to Facebook, whether it was me or in my groups, and said, we're not missing context. We covered the context the way that article was written, and its context doesn't agree with yours. And that's what public forums are all about. Public forums do not allow the administration to attack people for speaking something that they don't like. And yes, Facebook is a private network with public access. You can look at that. But it doesn't change how Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act of 1996 looks at a public forum. And the only other thing is then Democrats and Republicans and even Mark Zuckerberg or people from Facebook go, but you know, they gave us protection so that we can't be sued like a newspaper. If a newspaper publishes something that was wrong, or if a newspaper has to print a retraction because something was wrong. Facebook got the same protection, I guess, but the truth of the matter is Facebook didn't need it. They're a public forum. There's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. And we discuss both answers. And at the end of the day, you decide what you think is true. I decide what I think is true. And then we go have a iced mocha coffee and leave the bar as friends. But go have a big cookout with our friends and our kids and grandkids and dogs and whatever. And everybody's happy. Don't let Facebook become the beginning and the end of your social media. Let Facebook become the beginning and the end of your socialist media, because it's always going to be their way or the highway for as long as they can get away with it being their way. And if you don't like their way, they're going to tell you to go up to the next exit on the information highway and do it over there. The stupidest thing I ever heard Mark Zuckerberg say to a question, and he wasn't even at the House or the Senate that day. He was on a TV screen. Ted Cruz said something to him. Oh, God, I just had another brain fart, but it was a total lie. It was, I can't remember it. I'm sorry. It probably wasn't that important anyway, but, it's all lies. They've admitted that it's all lies. And even when they lie, they've admitted the lies are lies. So that's where I say, don't let Facebook become the beginning and the end of your social media. Don't let socialist media decide that's where you're going to stay and you're not going to have any other options. Or you're not even going to go look. Because I get a migraine headache usually a few minutes after I log on to Facebook, and it stays until I go look someplace else or walk away from or roll away, because I don't get up and walk. I just roll to another part of my crate and do something else. But you can read something on Facebook. You can decide for yourself whether or not it's 100% BS, 75% BS, 50% BS, 25% BS. You can go read the same thing on another social media network, the exact same article. You can read the comments, you can write comments, you can finish scrolling through the news feed and get a feeling that it's okay to have a different view. It's okay to represent that view. You're not going to get kicked off because you don't do what they want you to do. Facebook premeditated social media. That means Mark Zuckerberg, because he owns the most of Facebook, something like 28 or 29%. And anytime there's a new class of Facebook stock, I think he gets 28 or 29% of that. And we can argue semantics, whether or not Meta owns it, or the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative owns it, or I own it, or you own it. I don't care. You don't own it. I don't own it, because we can't make decisions that are binding on Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg owning that 28 or 29% of every class of stock and every Meta platform means that no one will ever own enough to do something against him or remove him from doing something. But if that ever happens and you don't like how he's doing it, you don't like how he's spending the money you invested, you don't like how he is treating you on there, go someplace else. Don't let Facebook become the beginning and end of your social media. There is a whole wide world out there. Some great places, some not so great places. American Patriot Social Network. Type in AmericanPatriotSocial.com. Great place. But don't join because I told you it's a great place. Go there. It is Christian values, and it is hardcore conservative patriots. So go over there and take a look. AmericanPatriotSocial.com. You join, you get an email verification. Sometimes it's delayed getting back to you. Sometimes it shows up in your spam folder or another email folder. So sometimes you have to look for it. But sometimes it is delayed. But once get on there, take a look around, and you'll see the Hardcore Conservatives group is there. I'm supposed to be posting every broadcast over there. I've fallen way behind. But I think I have a way of resolving that. And same thing over on StreetLock, StreetLoc.com. Go over there. Very, very, very conservative patriot system. The owner thinks that way. The people that are over there think that way. Um, if it's important, there might be some Christian values over there, but there's other values over there too, and nobody seems to have any problem. Go over there and take a look over there. Matter of fact, if you play pickleball, Pickleball, if you play pickleball, StreetLock is, I guess there's a private community there for pickleball that is a member of USOPL. And I don't know what it stands for. I kind of guessed that maybe it's United States Organized Pickleball or something like that. There is a real pickleball league, and StreetLock wants to take that private community of pickleball enthusiasts, players, people that want to watch, and blow it up with members that want to be in the pickleball community. I believe they also want to be able to live stream pickleball matches from all over the United States. That includes buying the live stream servers and updating the network so that they can do so. So if you are a pickleball enthusiast, go over to StreetLock. StreetLoc.com. Join it, get your verification back, and you'll find it. It's a private. The community, I believe, is a private community. I'm not sure if in the public groups there is a StreetLock pickleball group. If there isn't, tell them that there should be. I know that there is a private community for pickleball enthusiasts, and so I don't know how you get into that. You have to be invited into a private community, so I'm not sure how they will get you directed into that community if you're a pickleball enthusiast, but I'm sure that technical support over there can help you or make sure that you get connected that way. Anyway, let's see, an hour and 12 minutes, hour 13 minutes on the April 24th, Monday, Boogie with the Bull Morning Caffeine. The live chats are open on my profile on the Boogie with the Bull page where you do not have to buy stars. Matter of fact, today you can't buy stars yet only because we haven't completed the banking information that will allow you to be able to do so that Facebook will be able to pay me my portion of the stars that you buy. We're live on the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk group. I think I shared it to 20 or 30 groups. We're also live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel with a live chat. And we're live if you follow at Boogie WT Bull, at Boogie WT Bull, my Boogie with the Bull Twitter profile. And anyone who wants to make a comment is more than welcome to make a comment. If not, I'm going to probably wrap this one up. Today is Monday, so at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, go to the American Rebellion blogger page here on Facebook and watch the American Rebellion. Jerry Michaels, Nikki Young, hopefully Robert Lawless, Minnesota Madman will be there tonight. Let's see, Larry Burns might be in the audience. Stephen Tolliver may be in the audience. I might be in the audience. Scary thought. You might be able to see me on the American Rebellion tonight if they decide to let me on. And I always throw that at them. Jerry has made it abundantly clear I'm welcome to come on anytime I wish. But most of the time with spontaneous dementia, brain farts, it's easier to be in the live chat and deal with it that way. But go watch the American Rebellion, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. tonight, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and you'll like it. It's a conversation of men and ladies, and everybody respects each other most of the time, and every once in a while, Jerry Michaels has to crack a whip at somebody. And it happens. We're all big boys and girls, and when it happens, go to live chat, lick your wounds, go home, have a beer, go to sleep, get up the next morning, or the next night they're on, and come back, and you know what? Nobody picks up what happened. They just go on to the next broadcast and the next day. Like I said, Michael Anthony, the red, white, and blue 10 o'clock talks profile picture, because there is more than one, and if you track or think you're talking to one of the wrong ones, they get upset at you. So the red, white, and blue 10 o'clock talks profile picture, Michael Anthony, go there, become his friend. Look around his page, you'll see broadcasts he's done recently. You'll see promos for broadcasts he's going to do. And if you can fit it into your schedule when he is live, watch them. If you can't, go back and watch them later. And when you're watching them live or a podcast, share it. Same thing with the American Rebellion. When you're watching it live, share it. When you're watching Boogie with the Bull, share it. Share it to the trash can. Or whatever turns you on. Anyway, that's about all I can say. Justin Hart is watching. Gerard K. Michaels. Jerry Michaels is watching. Dawn Marie, who has the United Freedom Festival, I believe it is. United Freedom Festival in July. There is a United Freedom Festival event page. You can go to that, read all about it, and you can indicate whether you are going, whether you're interested or not, respond either way. You can ask questions related to it if you wish, and the person who put up the event page will answer you. I put in yesterday, will it be available to be live streamed, because I'm not on the road right now. I'm home, and my contribution is live streaming things because I'm not there. And when I say that, if you're having an event, even if you have to have a cellular phone camera be your camera, or more than one of you having a cellular phone camera, and that's how we do it, that's what we do. According to StreamYard right now, we can have 10 cameras going all at once. That's me and 9 others. So it's me and a guest host that is on the broadcast with me, and then the rest of the cameras are available. It's kind of hard to watch each one individually when you do that, only because of the way StreamYard lines them up on the screen. You really need a 40-inch monitor. To be able to see it all right. But it's easy to work with. It really is. But anyway, I digress again. If you have something that you think needs to be broadcast on Facebook and on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and carried over to Twitter right now, so anybody who follows me can see it, we will do it. That's what we do. Never any charge to do it. Other than maybe if there is a charge for us to be able to get a link from you so we can live stream it, you may have to pay for that link. Or if we can raise the money, then we will pay for the link. But that's not an important question. Because again, if you have a cell phone camera and you can send to me here in the Floating Island Studios and I can receive it, then we're good to go. And that is capable of being the link. And yes, people have done their entire broadcast with me from even remote locations of the world, and most of the time not had any problem. So we would love to help you out if we can, promoting your event all over Facebook and other social media, and then by having it live on Facebook and other social media as well, or on other social media as well, and not on Facebook. It's all up to you. If you ever thought about doing a broadcast like Boogie with the Bull, but your own, contact me, message me on Facebook. Why? Because there are lots of slots available that I have that I can do broadcasts on. That sometimes it's easier to just have someone else do it, and either I can be on your broadcast as your Baba Boogie sidekick live producer, and or I can just be on your broadcast as your Baba Boogie sidekick live producer, and I don't have to be on screen. It doesn't make any difference to me. I just have slots that are available that seem to be decent slots. They get decent views and the ability to go over to other social media networks, and we don't know how many views we get. But you know what? You do it anyway, and one view is the same to me as 100,000 views or a million views or 10 billion views. Um, if I could, I would probably do this as a in-person live gig, and who knows how that would go. But that's how I would do it. I would bring it to everybody, and we all just talk about how each one of us thinks. And like I said before, there's no right answer, there's no wrong answer. And at the end of it, we all go to the bar and drink your favorite beverage and just joke around and be American and talk about whatever needs to be talked about. Hour and 21 minutes. So we're coming up on 90 minutes, which is going to be the end of today's Boogie with the Bull morning caffeine, because it's not going to be morning in another 29 minutes. I thank everybody who watched. I'm looking on Facebook in the post on my David Logan profile, and it shows Justin Hart is watching, Gerard K. Michaels is watching. Don't forget the American Rebellion, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern on the American Rebellion blogger page here on Facebook. Do not go to the American Rebellion group. I mean, you can go to the American Rebellion group and you can watch it, but Jerry does not monitor the live chat that may be going on in there. So if you want to be your comments to be part of the live chat, then you go downstairs to the American Rebellion blogger page and you watch it there. There's also a link to Rumble, and you can get that link. And if you don't want to watch it on Facebook, you can go over to Rumble. I don't know if the Rumble live chat is monitored. I don't know if the live chat is monitored on Rumble, and either way, whether my face is on camera tonight on the American Rebellion or I'm in the live chat, I will ask the question either way, and Jerry can give you the answer. Maybe that'll get you to watch. Don Marie, like I said, with the United Freedom Festival, I believe it is July 1st through the 4th, maybe the whole weekend. But anyway, it's the United Freedom Festival. If you search events, or you just put into Facebook search United Freedom Festival, it should take you right to the events page. And if it doesn't, get a hold of me and I'll get the proper wording for the page. Or go to Dawn Marie's Facebook page, and it's all over her page. As a matter of fact, as it gets closer to it, we'll try to get Dawn on as many times as we can. And again, if it's possible, we will make sure that there is a live stream from there or different parts of the festival for you to watch on the social media that we can get it hosted on. Jeff Ulrich, thank you for watching. Militia Morgan Diarius, who is the creator, the force behind Honk for Freedom, the red, white, and blue Honk for Freedom decal that I got to get it loaded onto the new Fleming Island Studios StreamYard and the right way, so that it'll come on to Facebook. You can't just take a JPG from Facebook and or from your photo gallery and slap it into StreamYard. But maybe you professionals like Jerry Michaels and or Randy Rhodes can take me aside and slap me around until I understand how it's done. Speaking of Randy Rhodes, if you need genealogy services, and this is not a compensated announcement, okay? People know right now I'm using Randy Rhodes' StreamYard because there were problems with the Fleming Island's own StreamYard, and Randy is letting me use his. This is not a compensated announcement, meaning that I'm using his StreamYard in exchange for doing these announcements. Randy did extensive genealogy for me free a few years ago. Did the chart, worked all the way up to a point, and then because I'm Dave Golden on Facebook, there were issues, and I got mad at Randy, and I don't remember if Randy got mad at me, but I deleted the stuff that Randy had sent me and asked him not to have it up on Ancestry or any other place, which was stupid. And now my sister, who you see on Facebook as Joy Fuller, Joy asked me to ask Randy to find out if there is any Native American ancestry, I guess, on both sides of the family. To the best of my knowledge and what Randy had gone looking for, he didn't find it. He found Russian and Polish immigrants on one side, Russian and Polish immigrants on the other side. That other side, I believe, at one time, some of them were in Alsace-Lorraine, which I was always led to believe was the hoity-toity wealthy area of Germany. And I don't know where they went when they left from there. But if you need genealogy services, give Randy the basic information that he'll tell you that he needs. Give him 15 minutes. When he contacts you in 15 minutes, he will have so much information that you can decide whether or not you want him to continue. If you do want him to continue, he charges by the month. It's $250 a month. And you will not find anybody with the dedication to do the research, even if they have the same abilities that he does. You will not find someone who has the dedication to do it. I love Randy Rhodes like a brother, but often we will be doing broadcasts together and he will be looking down at something, or it looks like he's looking at another screen and his mind is paying attention to that. And he said, well, he's so busy that the hour, 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it is, he has to keep doing it while he's on those broadcasts. And I appreciate him. And you know what? That's what you want. Someone who is going to live, breathe, and think your genealogy. And in the course of a month, get as much new information to you as he can. And that $250 that you're having to put together may be hard to come by these months, but if you can and you do it, you will be very satisfied with the results that you get. Odessa Roberti is watching. Odessa Roberti does the Saturday prayer service Saturday at 11:30 on the Odessa Roberti page. That's Eastern time. If she is not going to be able to do it at 11:30, there's usually a note when it will be. So go there. I know that there is something, I believe, on Wednesday evenings. I know that there is a chat group for her new group, which is bringing in his harvest or something to that effect. Go to the Odessa Roberti Facebook page. To the best of my knowledge, there's only one Odessa Roberti, and there's only one Odessa Roberti on Facebook. Message her, and she will tell you what the group is, and she'll give you the accurate name. I believe there's also a messenger group chat, and that may be where I thought there was something going on Wednesday nights. And if I'm wrong, Odessa, well, then maybe here's the opportunity. Set something up on Wednesday night. Wednesday night Bible study. And you never know, I might show up with it. and listen to it, because I do have an interest in history and different history at different times, and want to hear how everybody thinks they saw it and how it's relative to them, and then look at it and see whether or not it's relative to something that I think is relative. Not everybody thinks that everything else in the world is relative. And speaking of that, how you think and how you deal with just being yourself and maybe the best self you can be, go to Joe Burlack's page and become his friend on Facebook. I believe it is divinergy.org, DIVI energy.org, divinergy.org. And they do have a Facebook page. If you email him at info@divinergy.org, he will answer all of your questions related to what he does. On the Facebook page, you can see what he does. On his Facebook page, you can see what he does. If you go to the website, you can see what he does and what he offers. And if you don't believe he can help you, then don't. If you believe he can help you, and you want to reach out to him for help, he will help you. And he's a really good guy. I had him on a broadcast recently, and the whole point of the broadcast was to break down in simple terms, because I'm a simple term kind of guy right now. The tech terms don't go in one ear and out the other. So I have to break things down so that I understand them. And I think that makes it easier to help everybody who's watching understand. We had a great conversation about things that he does. If you are thinking about a lifestyle coach for your life, that is something that divinergy.org offers. You do not have to go to him on an in-person regular basis. It can all be done virtually, which will be very good. That's how it would have to be for me. I just hope that he is not spending 24 hours a day doing 24 one-hour sessions with people every single day. But if that happened to him and everybody's happy, then great. You know, I need some lifestyle coaching right now, in the sense that I'm kind of, I know what I want to do. I thought I knew how I would get there. Right now, I think I'm kind of very close to the finish line of meaning how I wanted to do things and how I wanted them to end up. But I'm kind of stalled, maybe even right in front of the finish line, from stepping over. And, some some life coaching might help clear out some of the garbage and get me refocused and listening to myself and how I want to accomplish things that I'm doing. Plus, with the dementia journey, it's a new change. If you have a loved one with any kind of dementia, you know that some days they wake up and it's just a totally dementia day. They can't get out of their own way. We feel like we're a burden on everybody. And, you just want to roll up and lay in the fetal position in bed all day. I don't do that. I can't do that. I really can't. But I get up and will bury myself on Facebook and all the other social media networks that I'm on, or in Messenger chatting with people all day. You just got to get up and do your best and learn how to deal with the declines as they come, and make sure you don't get angry at your family because of things you may not be able to do one day, and realize that there's been some decline the next day. It is what it is, and your family really wants to help you as much as you want to help them deal with you. Because the alternative, as I say to mine all the time, is when it comes to a point that you can't deal with me here anymore. If you can, come and see me every day. If you can, at least call every day. I would like Delilah and Lola, the cat and the dog, to come for a sleepover now and then. And like my wife to come visit me, and maybe she can stay overnight. I don't know if I will be in my own room when it comes to that point, because I'm like everybody else on Social Security, and my Social Security, even my true Social Security, if they move me from SSDI, will not be enough to pay for a single room, I'm sure. Well, it might be at some point, but I don't think it will be. Uh, and I really don't want to end up there anyway. Right now I'm happy with, even if I'm having an off day and I'm stuck inside my own head, at least I know the people that are here, and they love me and I love them, and I miss the four family dogs. I miss uh, Molly the Rottie, and Willow, a husky, and Joe the other husky, and Max and Akita. I'd miss them as well. Even though Molly uh, now jumps on me more than ever, and I'm afraid that she will knock me down and hurt me. Uh, but you got to do what you got to do each day. You got to get up and try to face it the best that you can, and at the end of the day, throw yourself in bed and go to sleep and prepare for the next day. And part of what I'm having right now is feeling like it takes forever to fall asleep, and it probably does. But anyway, I'm Dave Logan. You're not. It's been an hour and 36 minutes, and we have done what we said we were here to do. Thanks to Odessa Roberti for watching, Justin Hart, Gerard K. Michaels, Jerry Michaels. Make sure 7 o'clock tonight, you're downstairs on the American Rebellion blogger page watching the American Rebellion. Don Marie, make sure you find the United Freedom Festival event page, where you go to Don's page and read up on it there. Question her on any questions that you have. Jeff Ulrich, thank you for watching. Militia Morgan Diarius, the lady behind the red, white, and blue Honk for Freedom decal. The Honk for Freedom decal. I will say this to people. I don't know what other people get told, because there's so many people making sure people get these. If you want the Honk for Freedom decal, and you want me to make sure you get them, you either put an envelope in it and send $5, or figure out Venmo or some kind of whatever to get it to me. And once I have that, Militia will mail them out to you. Or you can contact Militia Morgan Diarisis on her Facebook page, or in the Honk for Freedom main group here on Facebook, and she will arrange to get them to you. Unfortunately, I'm asking for the $5 donation when I do, because it costs money for Militia to make the decals, and it costs money for her to send the decals out. And the only money being made here is money to cover mailing them out. And when Militia is out, or hopefully before Militia is going to be out, she's ordered them and has them again. And other people have come across and said in the near future they may be able to make them for her, this, that, and the other thing. I understand and I appreciate that, but it costs money to make the Honk for Freedom decals and get them out to you. Or go to the East Palestine benefit that Randy Griesenbeck was talking about earlier this morning, April 28th, down in Danville, Kentucky, at the Harlem Knights Club. And if Militia's there, maybe she'll be passing them out. And if she is passing them out, you pull your wallet out and you give her $5, or you, whatever she has, Venmo, Cash App, whatever she has, you give her the $5. Okay? Nothing in life is free. That old session. Nothing is life and free. And if you got to pay for it, well, maybe that makes it worth that much more worth having it. Get that dang Honk for Freedom decal out on every car, motorcycle, vehicle, vessel that we can, so that it shows people that when they honk, it's all showing that we support freedom. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Okay? I very rarely, if ever, well, I do a lot, tell people when you got to pony up and spend some bucks every once in a while. the Boogie with the Bull, True Patriot Talk, white coffee mug has kind of been put on the shelf because I'd rather have the Boogie with the Bull uncensored white coffee mug made first. They will be available shortly. I do not know from where they are being made if you can order one and they will make one and send it to you, or if I have to order a whole slew of them and then send them off to you. I'd rather it be that you can order one and they will make you one and you'll pay whatever the cost of getting one is, and it goes. Any money we make from the Boogie with the Bull uncensored coffee mugs, I've been honest and I've said we have a StreamYard bill and we will have a Rumble bill, and in the very near future we may have a Twitter bill. So the first portion of any income we make every month will go to cover those things, because we have to cover those things. And then anything that is left will go to charities. In the beginning, probably Soup Mama. Soup Mama is a 501c3 charity organization. It's legit. If you're doing this only to get a tax deduction, you will, and I hope you're not. She has gone to East Palestine, Ohio, more times than anybody else I know, bringing in everything she can that they are constantly asking for, getting it there, and accommodating them if they suddenly ask for something else. If she can get it for them, she will. These people were turned away by their own state government. The governor didn't make it a natural emergency area or not national emergency area in order to be able to get help from FEMA. We've had that argument before. And whether or not FEMA these days would do anything that could actually help them, I don't know. I don't know either. I was watching a broadcast the other day where someone was talking about land grabs, and maybe China made a land grab so that if and when things happen and they come here, they're ready to go. And or maybe the government is grabbing land to build 15-minute cities everywhere. I don't care anymore. We pay taxes to a government to do things for us. Once they have done those things for us, and we are all in agreement, then yeah, maybe some money should go to help other countries. And then, that's how it goes. If we give the government too much money one year, whether it was to spend on us and or spend on us first and then spend how we tell them, we should have two options. One, everybody gets a huge tax refund that year, or maybe it sits there and the government gets less next year. So, say, for example, we give the government $32 trillion and they only spend $30 trillion, then we should have a choice of deciding that the $2 trillion either comes back to us, or maybe we hold it and next year they have $34 trillion to work with. And if they only spend $30 trillion, $4 trillion sits. We got to get our financial house in order, and anybody who owes our financial house, we need to get it back from them, or do whatever we have to do to make sure they're not. I don't know. We just have to make sure that we're getting ours back. We give it to you, and you were supposed to do something for us, and you don't. Or you're overly taxing us when we bring our stuff in, and we owe you because of that. We need to get all that worked out. We need to balance our budget and make sure that we're able to take care of Americans and America first. Americans and America first. We talk about that later. That's a novel concept. What is an American in America first? We talk about that later. Anyway, Hour and 45 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this up. That is 90 minutes. Actually, no, it's more. 60 and 45 is, I don't know. I can't do math in my head anymore. I've come to the end of the broadcast. Good morning, Walt Coons. You are the under the wire person, the last person to come in and get acknowledged. If you missed any part of the broadcast, please go back and watch the podcast when it posts in a few minutes. It will post in several groups on Facebook. It will post also on my Dave Golden profile where you can share it. It will post in the Boogie with the Bull page where you can watch it, but you cannot share it. It will post on the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk group where you can share it. It will post on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel where you can share it. It will post if you follow Boogie at Boogie WT Bull at Boogie WT Bull on Twitter, and you can share it all over Twitter, and you can share it anywhere from Twitter. Anyway, I'm Dave Blubin. You're not. This is the portion of the program where I thank you for the privilege of letting me abuse your time, and I also say this is the portion of the program where I look in the camera and I say to you, read my lips. Boogie with the Bull is a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. We own everything associated to what you see in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Boogie with the Bull, uncensored. Equal time is given to responsible parties with opposing views. What that means, if you disagree with someone that you read in the live chat or you disagree with someone on the screen, you have a right to come on to a broadcast on camera with that person on camera, and the two of you will have a nice, pleasant, controlled conversation to either agree to disagree or perhaps agree to agree or whatever. Just resolve whatever the issue was. If you want to come on to a Boogie with the Bull broadcast just to yell and scream or try to get me to start yelling and screaming at you, more commonly known as a Boogie with the Bull or a Boogie with the Blowout, that won't happen. Or it will happen, but it'll cost you probably a lot of money that will be donated to Soup Mama Official. So if you want to come on and have a Boogie with the Blowout, it'll probably cost you $500, which I have to receive before you do it. And if you want it done in person, it's probably $4,732.64. And I have to get it in advance. And you have to pay for my transportation to get to Soup Mama and back to give it to her in person. Or get her down to Fleming Island to give it to her in person. You know, raise money, do what you do best. Anyway, I'm Dave Logan. You're out. Thank you for the privilege of letting me abuse your time. Let's see. Today is Monday. I do not believe there will be a Boogie with the Bull in the 5 o'clock hour tonight because I don't believe today is a karate day. But it could be. So there might be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If a broadcast happens, it's in the 5 o'clock hour. And Friday, it's in the 5 o'clock hour, depending on whether or not there are guests or people that are just going to show up and do it with me. There's no guest planned for this Friday, but that does not mean that there won't be one. Anyway, I'm Dave William. You're out. Hour and 50 minutes. It's time to pull the plug. The dog and cat, Delilah and Lola, were fed before the broadcast. They're both sleeping comfortably. It's time to chase them around and get them some exercise, get me some exercise. Time for breakfast for me. Actually, lunch now for me. So live well and prosper and be the best you can be, and don't feel that you have to be you for somebody else unless you want to be you for that somebody else. Don't ever make yourself feel that it's what somebody else wants or tells you to do. Doctors, that's an exception. But people in your everyday life, your only function is to be the best person you can be, the best self you can be in their lives. And if they don't like that, then you don't have to be in their life, or they don't have to be in your life. Anyway, double V's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is coming to an end. If you would like to be on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast, whether it is a 7:30 a.m. Boogie with the Bull morning caffeine, today's 10 a.m. morning caffeine, one of the 5 p.m. hour Boogie with the Bull uncensored broadcasts, please let me know. I have said, and I'm going to start saying it again because it is true, I want to do more music related broadcasts, all genres of music. And I want to do it on the Boogie with the Bull page, not because you will be able to send stars, but because you can't share the Boogie with the Bull page. I'm sure anybody can find a way to share anything on it. We're not going to argue that. But you can't share the Boogie with the Bull page. That way I don't have to worry about Facebook coming after me with copyright violations from anybody's music that is presented on the page and shared all over. Anybody we have on a music broadcast has permission to either do the music that they're doing or it's their music that they're doing. And that's what it'll be. The Boogie with the Bull music broadcast on the Boogie with the Bull page and probably other places on Facebook, probably on my Dave Wooten profile too, and probably over on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. They're run there as well. But that is what it is going to be. That's something that I'm interested in looking at. And then, like I said earlier, the live events. If you have a live event going on anywhere in your state or your city, and you can help get it to the Fleming Island Studios, we will help you get it around on social media. Double V's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. There it is. Even. Double V's for victories. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end.